Hello and welcome, Virgo. This is going to be your reading specifically to you because in the mini readings, I was trying to shove everybody into 2 videos, and yours got cut off just when we were getting to some of the good stuff. So if you didn't tune in for that, I'm just going to give you my impressions as we went through. I had laid out a series of cards from a number of decks all in a pile and then started flipping them over. So Virgo, your card says digest, to take the estimation of a situation and create perspective from that. So your animal totem card came up as the dolphin play card, to be playful instead of serious. And it says swim in the happy joy of living, inhale confidence and exhale fear, dive into your wisdom, go with the flow. And then I was getting, if I can remember the way that they were set, the next two were the archetypal cards, and I was seeing how this Vesica Pisces here, this darker black image here, was like somebody taking this sword and slicing through a veil of perhaps a demeanor, some type of mood. A mood was coming through, and somebody was, I got the impression that there was a flirtation possible here, but it can take it however you need to. You can watch that original reading if you want to see it unfold. So slicing through somebody's mood or their reverie, their nostalgia, somebody's deep in thought, and somebody comes over and kind of pierces through. And I was saying it's a night and day difference between when we can reset ourselves and just kind of breathe into the moment. But then it was coming through like this other individual was looking for signs, or like some type of eye contact, or some type of sign or signal, a nonverbal signal from afar to know whether or not they should approach. And it seemed as though this was the Virgo in deep reverie or in a mood or thinking or reading or whatever you might be doing. In the moment, I'm seeing a vape pen. Now, I would love to lecture you on vape pens, but I will skip that for now. So, yeah, I'm just kind of seeing somebody in this mood. So I was taking it as though the Virgo was in this mood and somebody was trying to kind of look for a sign, an opening to come over, lighten the mood, or to seek some type of connection, contact with you. But this may also represent your ability to witness what another individual needs in the moment and to pierce through their mood or some type of veil of silence in order to gain a response or reaction or some type of playful engagement, some type of flirtation, or just simply some enjoyable interlude between potential friends or whatever. So the 3 code cards that you received were authority, coherence, and consciousness. And the way I'm taking this is that we're recognizing the ability of others to affect and influence us, and how we are perceived from without, and attempting to elevate our own consciousness and understanding how we can influence and uplift the consciousness of others by understanding where they're at and how to create some type of resonance. Like, if somebody's going through process of mourning, it's not always the best time for a dad joke, for instance, but for whatever reason, that was kind of the mood that was coming through in the original reading. Now, okay, with that light and dark thing, again, you can see this come out in the other one. So this Durga Kalika seemed almost to not fit in the circumstance, but it does have that sword, that lightning here. And look at the sword and the lightning here. Very incredible. So it's like somebody's been beat up. They've gone through a deep transformative experience of loss, of deep psychic consciousness. So listen to this. She is fierce divine justice and unyielding resolution in the favor of the light. She's every method and all means necessary to ensure success for the soul. She's the unexpected victory arising at the very moment when all seems lost, transforming tragedy into triumph. She is our spiritual sun, our light, and our ever radiant reminder that from darkest night a new dawn shall always arise. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. For every problem that can arise, there are many more divine solutions unfolding even now. So here we go. Down below, it talks about how life is sustained through continual balancing and interaction between the light and the dark, of that which promotes life and that which destroys it. In one story, she erupts in a frenzy of divine wrath, catapulted out of the awakened third eye of the golden warrior goddess Durga, straight onto the battlefield to arrest the rising power of evil forces. So, this may be like even a moment where you're kind of lost in your own reverie and some kind of maddening comment pierces through the veil and you come alive and are like, oh no, onto the battlefield, riled up, and to stand firm in the face of so-called evil. Sometimes it's not so-called, sometimes it really is pretty bad. So the battlefield that triggers Callie's emergence is the setting of the ancient war between the light and the dark, and that kept coming out. The war takes place in our daily world and often enough in our own minds and hearts, in what we believe about ourselves, right? That battle between light and dark. It's a war of choice where our free will decides which qualities are allowed to become stronger in our lives. Do we choose love or hate, trust or doubt, faith or fear? When we want to choose the higher path but find it difficult to avoid being overcome by our lower nature or the negativities around us, the divine beings of love manifest their presence to strengthen the light. In Callie's case, she absorbs the darkness, thereby freeing us from its potentially overwhelming and undermining effect. So, okay, let me see. Protective will. All right, I think that's enough for the reading end of things. And since you got cut off, let's get you just a couple of additional cards just to help you on your way. Let's get some Art of War here. I'm not sure this is exactly the right deck for you. Use the knowledge of others. Don't always think you have to go it alone. You don't have all the answers or all the information all of the time. If you know someone with skills and knowledge that you don't have, ask them for advice or help. They will almost always be happy to share what they know with you. Sun Tzu said, he will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. In the back of that card is picking your battles. In the back of use the knowledge of others says, we shall be unable to turn natural advantage to account unless we make use of local guides. It's written a little bit old style, but yeah, local guides will know. So it's like when we're in a certain area, the people that are familiar with the territory are those who will guide us. And if we're looking at a body of research or a project, then the people who have already done it can help us by instructing us on the things that they tried and how that worked for them. So I'd like to make these just a little bit deeper reading than we've had in the past. the journey coming out, nice embrace, and the beloved. Oh, isn't that beautiful for you? It's like longing for something or missing something and having some type of divine resurgence of trust in that love, that the love is all around you, embracing you, and holding you tight. All right, let's take a couple for you here. The rainbow. That's all about healing, taking flight. And I always see that as a chakra activation. And it usually, as you think about the rainbow, it's happens because of water still in the skies. That's why it happens after the rain, but when the sun comes out. So it's like from the storms of life, the light always emerges. And through our suffering, there's some type of critical turning point here through our perspective, through our ability to understand how to digest and analyze the parts of something and to create momentum from that. And check out the rainbow at the top of the thread card. It's like pulling on the thread of some type of karma. And karma doesn't mean that we deserved it or that we earned it in a past life, although those are common themes when we talk about that. But it can also talk about how, in order to help us to call forth all of our power, all of our compassion, all of our divine perfection, there needs to be a period of alchemical tempering of the steel of the blade, because otherwise it's not able to be utilized as the tool that it really is. And so the rainbow is like talking about through the storms of life, how then the incoming light following is like that. It's like that lightning bolt, third eye activation from the third eye of Shiva, you know, blasting us awake, creating the illumination that's like, oh, then it's like lit up from this situation. Like, I can rise above this too. I have faith in myself. I understand that healing is a part of life, and that every bit of this is helping me to draw on the thread, on the common themes, to develop in me a sense of understanding of what this journey is calling forth from within me. And if I enjoy the journey with this playful attitude, there's certainly quite a bit of renewal available for you. And there's the journey card that we already saw. So you have so many animal totems walking with you. I don't know if you've also got a lot of animals in your life, pets and otherwise. The amount of care that you can give for like plants or animals, the earth, or for any individual, and the self-care that you can give for yourself is it's our service work to self when we can also do that because it's the right thing to do. It opens us up. It refreshes our ability to trust in renewal, trust in that place of hope, connectivity. Yeah, there's something about friends, colleagues, or someone assisting another individual to draw them forth from a mood or a depression and just say, hey, I see you, I got you, I've been there. Or, you know, even if I can't understand where you're at, I can still feel with you, or I need you, or I miss you when you're gone. And understanding the impact that our actions and our withdrawal and our buy-in to their things, how critical those things can really be, and utilizing our opportunities to connect with other individuals, even if it seems like, well, I don't like doing that thing that they're going to do. Maybe I'll just stay home. But in staying home, there's so much more that's avoided than just that thing that is being done. Like, I don't need to go to that wedding or that funeral or whatever, but there's so much more that happens than just the thing, right? Connectivity is like we're all ocean in a drop. And so if we try to exclude and avoid and isolate, there's so much missing from what we can create for ourselves. And on the bottom here it says clarity and organization, tidy house. Of course, yeah, it feels good to have a clean house, but who likes to do all the chores? There are some sick individuals that enjoy those kind of chores. I am not one. But here to me, it's like, it looks almost like tree houses, like some kind of fairyland here. But clarity and organization is like, the more that we can set things in order, the more that our brain is clear and can be freed up to contemplate and do other things. But generally, Virgos are known for being tidy and orderly. So it's maybe talking about your ability to assist other individuals at putting some type of, and I think it's more of an emotional situation, into context, or like the idea of depression or suffering. And just, even though we can't just say, oh, well, good days will come again, it's like, that's kind of like, and I apologize if some of my comments have seemed along those lines, but it's not to dismiss and say, oh, well, quit suffering over there. It's better to be happy. Well, yeah, but the time demands of us the immersion into that idea or that emotion for a reason. But when we can help other individuals to draw them forth in a different way, I think that it's like us having, like, that, is it Motel 6, we'll leave the light on type of a thing. Just letting somebody know that, should you need me, um, I'd love to have you call me when you need help or something like that. If somebody needs help, to know that you'll be there, and to then ask for help if you need that help. But the whole original reading started believing that there was a flirtation afoot here. So there's something about this renewing for you that hopefully. Well, and here's another thing too, drawing it back to that context, is like, if we're in a foul mood, we may, oh, is that embracing pain? Transmuting pain, fool's embrace. So we talked about the embrace with the journey card. Below that is water. Look at that card. So this is all about feeling wounded in the moment, like almost collapsed in on the self. Oh, below water is covenant, sacred contract, and then deep diver, diving into a task, and then spirit of the river, movement toward adventure. So there's something that you're really immersed in, some type of emotional healing process potentially, or a belief about how you're seen or how something is going on also. And it could be any number of things putting you into some type of a lower mood. But then if somebody comes along thinking that they're going to help out, and let's say that you accidentally bite their head off and are like, of course I don't want to laugh at your joke, don't you know that my dog just whatever, I won't even say it. But it's kind of like recognizing that individuals, their timing may be off, but their intentions are probably really great and good, and that they noticed and that they came. So you have what it takes. So it very well could be you breaking through somebody's consciousness to bring them that gift of love. Always follow your heart. Unless it's been broken, then you must lead it back into love, the universe. P.S. Did you know that hearts are never too big to mend, too small to rebound, or too tired to love again. Thinking of the Grinch in that case. So maybe there's a Grinchy individual that has a little bit of a reputation, but you understand how your connection to source, to consciousness, can resonate with their mood. And maybe you don't want to be bestie friends, but maybe just being that little bit of support could change a person's life, quite literally. Asking someone to change is like pruning a tree. Neither will ever be the same again. Scarier still is that you can't quite know in what new directions they'll grow. I wouldn't change a leaf on you, the universe. Which, P.S., I'll add on my own. It's for those that don't know, asking a girl to smile is no longer a thing that we do. Just saying. It sure is hard to get really angry at someone when you can think of all the reasons that you love them. And you can, the universe. So, Virgo, yeah, if you're in a bad space or someone else is, and then let's say somebody does try to, or kind of gets a little bit reactionary, thinking that you're saying something like, hey, you'd look better if you smiled. It's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, let's not get mad. Let's not get upset about it. Sometimes they say the things they say, we and they respond the way that we do because of our brokenness. And that is also what creates our divine resonance. So take care of yourself and take care of the world as you are doing. So this is part of your journey. Thank you so much for joining, and check back with the other messages. Thanks, Virgo.